Poof! Greetings, Internet. I hope you're all doing well. Today we have some investigation work to do. So I decided to ask the infinite wisdom of Internet for help. Your help, guys. I'm gonna now present you with my 2 weeks of my observations and analysis, and you're gonna let me know in comment below what you think. The conspiracy theories and allegations are true, or are just bollocks. Without further ado, let's go straight into it. For you, now, for people that are not familiar with the game, let me explain the mechanics. If you want, in this game, get best in slot weapon for your class, you have to defeat Archboss. It's huge ass monster that respawns once per week. At the moment we have 2 of them. Queen Belandir, huge worm that spawns on the desert, and Tevent, like Undead King. Big boss who spawn, you gabush the boss drops weapons, you get it. But also there is second way exist. Every 4 or 5 hours, when there is time for events, special event happens. For Undead King, you can find his soul when he usually spawns and it hovers around the location, and all the zombies in his presence are getting empowered. And once you kill them, you have a chance to drop a fragment. You need 180 of those fragments to craft any weapon of your choice. With Queen Belandir, this worm, she is appearing on the desert. She's also hovering around the desert, and she leaves her poop, or her slavia, or how you want to call it. She lay eggs. And when you open the egg, you have chance to get also a fragment. You also need 180 fragments to pick the weapon of your choice. Of course, you can also unlock special road to obtaining this weapon. Just make small financial donation via Cash Shop to Jeff Bezos, and for only $4,000 to $5,000 you can have one of those weapons. Deal of your life. I hope everyone understands the mechanics. Let's discuss the allegations. Amazon Game Studio breaking the game on purpose to artificially increase the value and price of those weapons so they can cash more smackaroos into their pocket. Let's investigate. I hope you remember, we have 2 bosses. Let's start first with the Lich King. Loot from the boss was glitched for 2 weeks. You kill the boss, you get the participation reward, the box, but no loot itself. It didn't work for 2 weeks, and they even release, before the boss, they release the statement for entire server. The message pop up. Let's read it. We are working to resolve an issue that's causing no loot to drop from archbosses. These issues will remain during the upcoming Devent boss encounter. Participant will still receive participation rewards as expected. Once resolved, we will reschedule previously impacted archbosses encounters to give players a proper chance at acquiring the intended loot. Okay. This is questionable. Bosses worked when they were introduced. They stopped working. Time for Exhibit 2, special event. As you remember, not only you can drop the entire weapon from the boss that sometimes work, you also can drop the fragments from hoovering event. 180 fragments, you can craft the weapon of your choice. Now we have problem. According to Wizard investigation, this event was clearly rigged against the players. How they did it? Before, when the ghost was hovering around the area, all monsters in close proximity to the Tevent ghost got chance to drop fragments. that was indicated by this blue flame under the HP that shows, hey, the mob is ignite, there is a chance to drop the fragment. All monsters are in closer proximity. Now, after the patch, only some monsters are ignited. So it greatly reduces your chance to get the fragment, because instead of like 50 monsters that are in close proximity to the boss, now only like 5 or 10 can have chance to drop the fragment. Okay, wizard. But how we can prove that this change actually impacted the economy? What if there is less monsters but they have higher drop chance, so it doesn't really matter? Glad you ask. There is third-party website that is monitoring the market, and thanks to space magic, we can teleport there straight away. Poof! Here we are. The orange graph on the top show the price of the item. The green one, those bars green on the bottom, show the supply of the item. So as you can see, they pumping fragments, and one day the fragment supply drops by like 50, 60, 70%. What it does, it's create situation like with toilet paper during COVID. There is not enough supply, so the price is automatically rising. This is first red flag. Why it's a red flag? Because it was ninja patch. It was not unannounced, it was not in patch notes, it just happened one day. Players were not informed, they just push it under the table. Oof, we are starting to having some track record. Investigation continues. Queen Belandir, second archboss, huge worm that come out of the hole in the desert. The event that you can get fragments from her got disabled. Well, the event worked, but the worm didn't pop up for at least a week. Some people claims 2 weeks. Did it have impact on the market? You cannot clearly see it. You can see 2-week period where there is less fragments on the market for sure. When we were analyzing that event, the undead archboss shenanigans, you could clearly see when the nerf happened and how it happened. In this case, in case of Queen Belandir, it's not so clear cut. So I leave it to your own judgment. But what you should know is the event was disabled 1 week before the Spear release. The new class. Throne and Liberty have new class release Spear. And coincidentally, the Spear can be crafted using Queen Belandir fragments. And there is one information that we may have to take into consideration for our investigation. All items in this game that are reliably farmable, over time they slowly lose their value. But the fragments, last 30 days, the value goes up. Coincidence? And as every story involving money, this one also have trust me bro part. And this time it involves our beacon of hope. Throne and Liberty Jesus himself. Canon. So there is a website that you can go and content creators can share their builds there. And if you visit Canon builds, you can see that he is heavily pushing those arch weapons. And conspiracy theory says he got these weapons from free from Amazon. And he's doing it to increase the sales. As he's getting the cut. If you ask me, it's rather unlikely. Because we content creators know that Throne and Liberty is Titanic that heads for iceberg and it's gonna fucking crash. Time to get as much viewers, as much subscription, as much exposure as possible, and then fuck off to lifeboat, okay? Having sex with Capitan under the deck, this is no time for that. This is the time for evacuation now. And second, thought I have in my mind is having arch weapons is good advertisement for your stream. Alright? Canon is like non-aggressive with it, but if I had those weapons, you will see titles like I have $10,000 weapon combo and I'm one-shotting peasants. And that's how, ladies and gentlemen, we had reached the end of this video. Now, it's your time to do something. Let me know in the comment below. Do you think this is cold blood calculation to milk the players from last dime? Or they are just clumsy in the company that don't know what the fuck they do? Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy my video. And I hope we're gonna see each other soon, very soon. Wizard out. Poof.